Mr. Uche Obima. He's going to take us through on how to maintain your ponds, take care of the fingerlings and the juveniles, and to make sure they grow up all in adult catfish, the one that we enjoy on our streets and at home. Let's meet our guest. Hello, Mr. Uche.
Hello, nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Okay, very well, thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much.
So, can you tell us about the farm, how you started, and just...
Okay, the name of my farm is Hosanna Fish Farm and Poultry. We've started this since I think early 2000, like 2001 or 2. So it's been long. We started with just one tank. Then it started as a hobby. Then as later on, we started expanding and expanding. We've been doing poultry since, but fishing was something we did as a hobby, but then we started commercializing it. So we're into so many different branches of catfish farming. We have the fingerling production, juvenile production, growing all the way to grow out stage, table size stage, and also smokeable stages. So basically we have all the different forms of value chain of catfish farming here. Wow. Even the nursery, we do have it here. Okay, so yeah, basically this is it. We make use of various trampolines and tanks, and of course cement pond.
Okay,
yes.
Now let's talk about the nursery. How did you start them?
Okay, the nursery is a very delicate process. We used to do nursery over here, but now we have shifted it to our out farm in Kuje because of where we are is in area 1, so we're using waterboard water, and waterboard water can be a little bit chlorinated in some certain situations, so it's not really good for nursery. So we have the nursery in our outpost, that's in Kuje. So but once they enter like 3 weeks, 4 weeks old, which they are now fingerlings, we now transport them over here, which we have plenty of them over here. Then from there we start growing out to adult size. Okay, so what's the best water for the nursery? The best water for the nursery is either stream, borehole water, rainfall, just natural sources, nothing coming into contact with it. That's the best form for nursery. But once they are outside of there, they are into here, by that time they have developed a little bit of tolerance, so they can tolerate a measurable amount of chlorine, which is the main factor that normally affects the nursery, chlorine and ammonia. But once they have gotten to fingerling stage, they have, they're much equipped to stand out high levels of chlorine. So yeah, that's it. So at the nursery stage, do they have their special feed? Yes, they have a special feed. Their feed is their feed is mostly Artemia or zooplankton. It's a very, very small microorganisms. So most of these manufacturing companies, they process it into grinded granular forms. Also add maybe some protein additives to it to make it a little bit much nutritious. So that's for the fries. That's when they are at the nursery stage. But once they get over to the fingerling stage and the juvenile stage, the feed now is compounded, oil is added, but most of their feed is mostly composed of fish. Fish feed is actually composed of mostly fish. Fish, like the fish itself? Yes, the fish itself. Fish with oil and, add some little bit of carbohydrates, source of carbohydrates, maybe like maize or whatnot. So from then, as they get older, the protein content in the feed reduces, because at that point they don't really need that much protein. As you get older, what you need now is carbohydrates. Why? Because the more carbohydrates you have when bigger, the more you're able to get fat, because since they are inside one place, they're not going to many places. Like if you open water, yes, so that excess carbohydrate will be converted to fat. So once I get a fish, I show somebody, the person weighs it, to be like, yeah, that's good, that's a good size. Wow. So that's why as they progress in size, their feed, the protein content reduces, but the carbohydrates increases. Okay, so can you tell us about preparing the pond? Okay, generally every day, because I'm into commercial production of catfish. The thing about catfish is that the quantity and quality of water are the most important parameters. Okay, so when it comes to quality, I do not consider at all. So I change my water basically every day. Every day I change my water every day.
Now, before you bring the nursery when they get to the fingerling stage, you're talking about preparing the pond before you bring them in.
Okay.
So
preparing the pond, I make sure that the pond is sanitized. I use salt. I'll clean the pond, use salt and small water, scrub it well with salt. I let the salt crystals stay on the pond. If it's trampoline or cement or tank, I'll let the salt crystals stay on the pond, the walls and the floor. I leave it for like 3 days straight. Then once the fries or fingerlings at that point are coming, I'll now put water into that pond and they will now enter. So I use basically salt, nothing serious. Some people use more chemical disinfectants, but I just use salt, and that has been working out perfectly for me.
Okay, some people cry out that when they bring in their fingerlings, like we call them, they discover that a lot of them die before getting to the outgrown stage.
Yes.
So what are the factors that help in preventing that, and what is the major cause of that?
Okay, like I earlier mentioned, quality and quantity of water are the two most important parameters when it comes to catfish farming. You have to consider the quality, how clean it is, and the quantity. If you carry fishes, you put water up to this level, you expect them to turn out to be huge, it's not going to happen. You need to give them ample amounts of water. That's the only way their brain will tell them that, okay, we'll synthesize more hormone for you to grow because your environment is big. Okay, that being said, you said growing up, some of them might die.
Yeah.
That has to just do with the quality of water. Like I said, I change my water every day. You know, these fish, they eat and they shit is also inside this water. So ammonia builds up. Ammonia is one of the constituents of the feces. So it builds up fast and it affects them. And it's also, once the feces is inside the water, it encourages bacteria to come. And those bacteria are also cause, a lot of diseases. So that is why the water you're seeing here today, tomorrow you will not see it. Either I change all, or I change at least 50 to 75% of the water, so that basically I have a clean water. So whatever impurities in the previous water would have been flushed out. So if you want to have clean, good fishes from small to big, just focus on the quality of the water.
Okay.
Quality of the water and other small management practices which you can't read until you experience it for yourself.
Aside water being the major cause of fish mortality,
yes,
is there any other ailments that causes fish mortality? Do they suffer from any other disease?
Actually, it's water actually the main source of infections.
Okay.
Is that same water. There's no other way. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no airborne infection or nothing, because they're inside water. So the only way they can get infected is through the water.
Okay.
So the more dirty the water is, the high chances of infection. So hence we need a clean water regularly.
Okay, because there was a fish pond I visited where the water was a kind of green, and when I made inquiries, the owner was like, this is what keeps them healthy and makes them grow, especially when they are when they are close to the table size.
Okay. So
is it really true, or we have variety of them that are okay with that condition?
That's a very good question, actually. You see, different ponds have different management practices. Earthen pond is the best way to grow catfish, because earthen pond, the ground is actually the soil. In that soil, there are some inorganic minerals that they can derive that they can't get in trampoline or tanks or any other artificial. Earthen pond is actually the best form of culture for. They grow fast, they are healthier. So you seeing that green color is actually good. That's algae. They also eat algae. they might not eat it too much because they know you. Catfish are smart. They know that you're coming every day to give them food laced with fish. So why would they eat plants? But if you leave them for 1 day or 2 days, they see the algae, they'll eat it. They're omnivorous. There's nothing they won't eat. Anything you eat, they'll eat. So that man's eating pond with the green color is actually on point. That's actually a very good setting. But in a setting like this, even if you look at my temple, you still see some algae at the side, but it's not affecting their health or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, different pond settings, different management practices. Like that eating pond, now he doesn't need to change the water every other time. But me, I can't take that risk. I have to change that water every other time.
Okay.
Yes.
So how long do they stay? How old will they become for table size?
Good. Basically, we're looking at 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
Yes.
Okay.
You can actually, when you say table size, people have different definitions of table size, but from my experience,
table size
it's from 800 grams up.
Okay.
So some people might get 800 grams from 4 months, but generally, rule of law, from 5 to 6 months, that is table size. They should have attained 800 grams up. Yes, from 5 to 6 months.
I will take you back a little.
Okay.
Now let's look about you talked about nursery, and I forgot to ask you about the eggs.
Okay.
How do you get them?
Okay, the eggs, we do artificial fertilization, whereby we use Overprim. It's a hormone, a peptide hormone, whereby we inject. I'm sure you must have seen various ways of propagating, fertilizing catfish. You just get the hormone, put it in a syringe, inject it into the female. You leave it for like 10 to 11 hours in a secluded place, dark. Then after 10 to 11 hours, you come and then you start pressing it. Unfortunately, the nursery is not here. If not, I would have shown you. But you start pressing the abdomen. By that time, it would have been gravid or filled with eggs, unfertilized eggs. That hormone synthesizes the production of eggs. So we press the eggs out. Once we press the eggs out, we get a matured male, and unfortunately, we kill it. There are ways you can preserve it, but killing it is faster. We kill it, we get the testes, we split it, then the sperm or the mint comes out, and we spray it all over the eggs evenly. Then we now go to our nursery, and then we spray the combination, the mixture, evenly across the water surface. Okay. Yes. Then within 24 hours, you start seeing
fingerlings.
No fingerlings, fries.
Fries.
Yes.
Whoa.
You start seeing fries. You know, very small.
How can you differentiate a female catfish from a male catfish?
Okay, a female catfish, a male catfish. Let's use male. Okay. Has a penis-like structure, okay, whereby
from the inside or
no,
the outside?
you will see it on the outside, but a female, you won't see a penis-like structure. Reproductive organ is just like this.
Okay.
But a male, it's very obvious. You see something like this, so that's how you know that, oh, this is a male. That's how we differentiate. Yeah.
Wow. Like, what's their lifespan like? The catfish, their lifespan, highest lifespan.
Catfish lifespan. It's actually, don't quote me, but it's from around 10 years. In fact, it's even more than 10 years, because I have seen some documentaries. So people have shown me that they have catfish that has been in their water for like 15 years plus. So catfish actually can stay for a very long period of time. But one thing I know is that if they're in a cultured environment, they will stay longer than in the outside world. The chances are higher for them to live longer in a cultured environment than them in the river, because obviously you change their water, you take care of them, you feed them. All they have to do is just sit down looking nice. Unlike the wild, where nobody knows tomorrow. Running. Maybe one shark can come and say, guy, how far now? What's going on? So yes, so they can stay long, and you have to understand that catfish comes in they have different species. The one that is endemic to us is African mud catfish, Clarias garipinus. There's no place they can stay, even in the sewer.
Wow.
There's no place they can stay. They are very rugged, very hardy in nature, and they're unbelievably smart. It will shock you.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So now, well, like, you keep them for 10 years and you feed them normal, or do they have special feed at that stage, or you just go get the normal feed you get from the shop, or there is something else?
Okay, actually, the oldest fish I have is about 7 years. I don't have any fish up to 10 years. Why? It's because those older fish, I use them for breeding, right? And some other farmers come and buy them from, that's what they call brood stock. So before I can even say a fish should stay 10 years, one person would have come and bought it from me. So I don't actually have any fish up to 10 years. The food, I have, of course, as they get bigger, they eat different sizes of food, which is based on their mouth size. You can be giving a small fish with a small mouth a big millimeter of food.
Aside that, as in the frequency
of feeding?
Yeah.
Okay, I feed my fishes at least twice a day. That is for
the bigger ones.
That's for the bigger ones. But for the ones in the nursery, I give them at least, let's say, like 4 to 6 times a day. But for the bigger ones, they are fingerlings, they are out of the nursery, at least twice, at the very least. But that's not even the main thing. The main thing is the quality of the water. The cleaner the water, the more they will eat. So you have to always remember quality and quantity of water is the most important thing.
Okay. Wow. So you're saying that when the fish come for table size, there are some that are reserved for
breeding.
For breeding.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So finally, for someone who wants to start a fish farming right now, what are the steps and the stages the person would take, and what are the challenges the person might face? So that's just what I wanted to say. Okay, the steps, number one, this is capital intensive, and the main reason why this is capital intensive is because you're dealing with animals. Animals eat food. The food you give them is what will make them in the that's the end product. If you feed them 1 naira, don't expect 10 naira. Okay, if you feed them 10 naira, then you can expect 20 naira or 11. So what you feed them is what will come out. So basically, feeding takes about 70% of the cost. So if you want to start fish farming, first thing you need to consider is, do I have the money to buy their feed down? That's one. Number two, you have to ask yourself, am I going to have availability of water? Water is the most important, because they basically spend all their life in water. So you need a constant supply of water, whether it's a stream, overhead tank, borehole, what you need water. Those costs and water, those are the first two things you need to consider. What if you say challenges, still falls back to water. Yes, the water has to be clean. It has to be clean daily in order to prevent diseases and infection. Other challenges will be, I think the other challenges will be the market when selling. You know, sometimes with the way the economy is, you buy a lot of feeds, you feed them, but when you want to sell them, you might not sell them at what your book is saying. Your book might say sell them at this price, but that is not what the market is saying. The market is saying no, you have to. So that's another challenge. You need to know your market. I have different value chain. I smoke fish, I do brood stock, I do fingerling production, I do juvenile production, I do melange. Melange is that's what you call smokeable. So I have different value chains. Some people just focus on just one branch. Some people just focus on maybe just fry production or fingerling production or brood stock production or smoking of fish. So you have to know your market. So I've identified my market, and that is why my market is now making me do all these different stages. Yes. So you made mention of roasts. Smoking of fish. Smoking of fish. Yes. When you talk of smoking of fish, is it the dehydrated one or the grilled fish? People enjoy themselves at the joints. Okay, no, the dehydrated one. If you see, I have my oven over there. I smoke the fish. I get them out of the water, you know, prepare them with salt. They dry out. I clean them out, remove their intestines and whatnot. Then I put them in the oven. The ones that you're seeing in the point and kill, those ones are fresh fish. They will now kill it and grill it on top of the, you know, the fire. Are they the same species? Yes, it's still the same. It's still the same. It's just different preparation. Grilled fish is live,
You now over there, you now chop it, you put it on your pepper, or you sauce it, over medium heat or whatever heat. But with oven, it's high heat. It dries up all the fat, makes it well dehydrated, whereby you're just seeing you're no more seeing the tissue. All you're seeing is just the hard, the skeleton and whatnot.
Okay. So aside from catfish, which other fish do you rear in your farm?
I am mostly or basically catfish, but I do have tilapia.
Oh,
very small in number. The reason is because I did tilapia before. The market wasn't moving for me, so I halted. But now I have resumed it, but just on a small scale. Nothing really commercial size. I am mostly catfish. That's where my market is.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Finally, can you tell us your word? Give the people out there who are watching your word and your advice to the government and NGOs who want to empower youths.
Yeah, catfish is one of the most lucrative business, and if you look at it, we don't produce enough catfish for the teeming population of Nigeria. And one of the reasons why I believe is because we do not have enough support. I believe if the government can be very transparent, come out and say, listen, if you're into catfish farming, show evidence, want to see, and then want to give you some kind of incentive or loan. It will really help, because a lot of us, like I said, it's capital intensive. You get a lot of money, you start it. When it's time to sell is a problem, because the market might not be favorable. So if we have that capital intensive incentive, or if we have an environment that encourages us to keep stocking catfish, of course we'll continue that. But catfish is a very lucrative. Some people will say there's no money in catfish. There's money, it's just that you don't know how to do it. People want to go into catfish, they just want to jump into it. No, you need somebody experienced with you to show you the little, because there's some things they can't write on paper. You have to experience it yourself. So if you want to enter catfish farming, just get somebody that's experienced, or go to farms, visit, learn more. And if the government can give us more incentives, financial incentives, that will really go a long way. If they can help us, especially with the cost of feed, if they can help us to crash the cost of maize, because maize is one of the major constituents in feed. If they can just help us if maize comes down, the price of maize, the price of feed will come down, our profits will generate. There will be more fishes in the market.
All right. So, thank you very much. It has been an interesting time with Obima Uche. This is how far time can grant us until